Hello, we're live on the Call of Duty Rec League. My name is IK, so here with Getster. We're going to have an amazing matchup between London Royal with Cheese against the Florida Puppeteers. London are 4-1, while Florida are 3-2. Things are looking like they're getting spicy already in this lobby. Getster, after we have production, making sure everything's good on the screen. What are you seeing? What are you thinking? And how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good right now. It's been a little bit since I've had the chance to cast some Call of Duty action, but feeling pretty solid going into it, as are the London Royale with Cheese, taking a slight early lead on this first point here on Hacienda Hardpoint. But Florida, they are able to take back at least a couple points here. They're doing a really good job of controlling the high ground right now, but this hardpoint is almost gone already.
Yeah, of course, people are getting ready for the rotations. And I do want to mention we are in the gold mixed division. It's about
Mm-hmm.
5 weeks into the season, and everybody's starting to get really comfortable with each other. Look for the team coordination to be a big factor in this one. The faster you can get used to your teammates, the better. Right now, we see Florida, 3 members of them in the point, getting about 30 seconds of hill time so far on this P2. What are you seeing, Getster?
I'm seeing a very good hold from them so far. Nothing that London has been able to do has been a successful attack at this point. Everything is going well for them until eventually London find a way to break through. All four players from Florida go down in the kill feed, but eventually they're going to be able to catch up points-wise here. They have the time to, just barely.
Yeah. Whenever I watch the CDL, I feel like this is just a hill that is just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. The pros definitely know how to break it down. Right now, Berksey has an opportunity to tie the game or bring it really, really close. It's about 5 more seconds left on this P2. The rotations are coming in for both teams. It looks like Florida Puppeteers will be in the best position to get this P3.
Ooh.
Slays, where the shots come out for CK Loves Bacon, not able to find the damage to complete the kill, but communicated to their
Uh-oh.
team what they saw. And right there, that's a great, great, great play by the balding 26-year-old.
Absolutely incredible plays just then. But either way, as you say, Florida Puppeteers are able to win the early rotation towards the hard point, but it doesn't end up mattering for super long. As London Royale are able to retake this, CK loves bacon and loves finding multi-frags, being able to find a couple of those so far in this map. But a team kill comes through, unfortunately, and just like that, momentum swaps back in the favor of the Puppeteers. But we are still seeing contests this whole time. This point has been scrappy, if nothing else.
Yeah, Bus just driving through the enemy right there. It feels like Florida are just getting their swagger here. Looking at that scoreboard, we see Westside Beezy with 11 and 6 for the KD right now. Just about 20 seconds on the hill time is sharp and ready on that P4, if I'm not mistaken, and connects for a trade. The trophy systems go down for London Royal, who now have an opening. Florida Puppeteers had a great start, but unfortunately weren't able to hold on as Cheese's rotations just came through.
Looking very solid right now for London. The contest does come through, but it almost doesn't get shut down at all. A couple players going down on both sides, but eventually Florida, they're going to continue this contest here. And they retake it. What a phenomenal break from them. And nobody's able to do anything because Bus has found 3 players eventually slain by a grenade. But man, this point has been so back and forth. Just like everything before it. We're going into P4 and it's back to P1, excuse me. And it is within 10 points.
Super close match right now. Florida just seem to have their spawns, a little bit more dialed in. I feel like London are just going with what they got in the current moment. Florida just doing a great job of just controlling the pace of the game. But as I say that, a little bit of the caster curse comes in as London take the lead on this P1. They are perfectly set up. Let's see this 1v1.
Ooh.
Oh, that goes in favor of the team in red. That's going to be momentum, momentum, momentum. But somehow, some way, Florida Puppeteers take control of this P1 for only a split second. They back out, decide to get the Slays Breezy onto Bando. Wow, that's just a great play. And Florida will have their opening right now. But Berksey comes in to be a thorn into their side, finds almost 3 heads.
Man.
And wow, Bus continues to grab points for Florida.
And they're just going to keep getting points racked up here, man. It is so hard to consistently stay on this point. The lack of cover, the being surrounded by high ground. You're already going to see a player from the Puppeteers getting over towards P2. Bus holding it down for now. Within 3 to start that point. And it's still looking extremely close here. Picks coming out. West side, Beezy doing a phenomenal job of keeping the London Royale at bay here, but eventually does get shut down by Bando. But the trades just keep coming in.
I do want to mention, I kind of see those Squid Game, one Squid Game's skin always throws me off a little bit right now. That contest on the hill is going in favor for Florida Puppeteers. Oh, Squid Games gets one more kill to control this. And like I mentioned, Florida just seemed to control the map that extra 10% or doing, that extra little bit, while London are just relying on their raw slays. Right now, if you look at the scoreboard, everybody for the team in red are super, 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 super close. Of course, Westside Breezy on the other squad is leading, the entire lobby with 20 slays. Right now, it's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I do want to mention, a lot of people love S&D, but I do love me some hardpoint in, the Gold Mixed League, in the CRL. It's just going to be super competitive. No one's going to be out of it. I'm giving a lot of props to Florida, but London are just fighting strong. And, unfortunately, drop right there will come in with authority. But Bus, once again, is just going to drive into the opponent.
I think the only appropriate word to describe this map so far is scrappy, Queso. It has been nothing but back and forth fights with a couple of decisive wins from the Puppeteers dictating the current lead. And right now, we're seeing one of those. So many picks going in their favor. And like you say, a lot of it falls onto Westside Beezy. This guy has been lights out this whole time. But that's not to take away from the rest of his teammates who are finding picks everywhere on the map.
Yeah, looking into the series, as we see Brinksy just lay down on their stomach. Just if we're looking to the series, I think London Royal will have maybe the advantage for the SND with their ability to stay consistent. But Florida Puppeteers right now on the hard point are just flowing as we see Brinksy playing with confidence. They're only, 16 and 18, only 16 and 18. But, when you have a player like Westside Brinksy, with Breezy, it allows Brinksy to get the killing spree. Just like that, Florida will get 180 points and about a 60-second lead on the opposing team.
Yeah, last time we left P4, it was within 10 points of each other. That is mathematically not possible this time around. It is looking so good for the Puppeteers as it stands here, but eventually a break does come through. The Royale have the point, at least for a little while, and it looks like they're going to be able to hold on to it for the rest of P4. Just going to be fighting for exit frags here is the Puppeteers, but they get shut down. Rotations back to P1. It's all about who can control that high ground, and right now, it's looking okay for Florida, but it's going to be rough.
Yeah. London Royal decided to just milk out that point as we see Florida ready for... Not necessarily ready. I thought they were ready for the rotations, but instead they were on the respawns. Right now, London Royal have their opportunity. I think you and I both thought that it was going to be tough for London to get control of this next point, but right now they're doing their best, bringing that lead within 30 seconds. Squid Games gets a pick, and now we rotate into the perspective of Elzen, who throws the nades and just lays on their stomach, picks off the player wearing the, mischievous skin. Right now, it's a battle on that point. Toronto Ultra goes down. Let's see if they're able to make it competitive once again.
Yeah, Beans, you are not right now. Not able to find all of the picks necessary to hold on to this point for very long, but we are back to this being a very close game here. Within 20 points of each other as it stands, but Puppeteers, they're looking to get a little bit of scrap time here at the end of the point and make a solid rotation early over there, but Elzen is already on P2. If they're able to find and shut him down, this could be the opening that the Puppeteers need, but Elzen finds the first pick. Doesn't find the second. Point is still contested, though, and just like that, that is the opening that they absolutely needed. Puppeteers are now above 200 points, but London very close on their tails.
Yeah. Florida just trying to rush in off their respawns. London are, coming up near their teammates. So this might be a great opportunity for London to potentially take the lead here. It is a contested hill right now. Florida are 2 down while 2 members of the red team are in that point. This might be the opportunity, and it is, as they take a 3-second lead and counting right now. Let's see if they're able to hold on to this longer. This is the time when I would love to do a in to hear, Empo scream dead when they just knocked another player onto the death screen.
It's looking real solid right now, but rotations, no one gets there like super cleanly right now. There's a whole wave from London Royale coming in, and Brinksy has to stay alive, but he does not for very long. Early points go over to the side of the Puppeteers, but this is big picks coming out from Bus. Finds several, and Brinksy on the respawn saves his life. The absolute moment it looked like he was about to go down. This continues to be close. BZ finding a pick on the Berksy here. The Royale need a break right now, and that's a good start. BZ goes down. Empo falling next. Is so scrappy right now. Points still going to London with cheese, but Bus falling. It all falls to Westside BZ right now to keep it alive really well and truly. On the other side of that wall, another player. I'm not sure either team is going to be able to win the game on this point now. But all the way up to P4 we go very shortly.
Yeah, no, those respawns are a little dead even right now. Florida were able to come up,
Oh my!
before the opposing team, and it was a contest to see who was the first one to get onto that point right now. Florida, somehow, some way, because of that opening that they got with a crazy 2-piece, will lead them to take this lead and maybe even map 1. It looks like London will have one more time to contest. They stay in this point. They get stunned. Florida pushes in, but gets taken out one by one. It looks like London will take the lead once again.
The Hellstorm absolutely turns the tide of everything here. 3 points remain. I don't think a contest can come through. It finally does. But can the kills go through? Points racking up. 249 apiece. Another contest. But Florida, they do it. A 2K from Bus to put them on 249 into a Hellstorm that takes them off the point. And somehow they still retake and win.
Just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I do think those spawns played a big factor. When it came to the rotations, even though game 2. Why don't you take us in to this first round, Getster?
All right. Search and destroy. Rules are simple. We all know how it works. Westside VZ gets the first blood right off the bat. And these super long sight lines on the outside of the buildings is where the ARs are really going to shine. And Berksy immediately making my point clear, finding 2 picks. 2v3 now. Bomb goes down on the B site. Berksy falls, making it a 2v2. Both of these players now just sneaking through, trying to find an opening into the site here. Both SMGs too, I believe, so. Running out. Sees both. Knows the location of both players now. Can he win the duel? No, Brinksy not able to take it, and the Ninja Defuse does not come through. London Royale with cheese taking the first round.
Yeah, no, during the hard point, Florida definitely leaning on West Side to be their opening, their key, if you will, to unlock the opposing team. And right now, I, was predicting that London would be able to be a collective unit throughout this game 2 SND, and I think that's what's probably their winning condition. I keep repeating it, but London just have to play as a team. I think we saw Berksy get a little overheated after they dropped. I think they weren't in the really in the position to get averaged or to get onto that death screen right now. Bus has bomb in. A first blood is incoming.
I would like to apologize to the chat, by the way. I definitely just lied on broadcast earlier. I have casted this map before. It's just been a while.
It's all good. It's all good.
My bad. My apologies, chat. I am tripping. By the way, already early lead for the side of London Royale. Numbers advantage. Bus goes down early. Brinksy somehow wins that duel. Jackal in hand. Continues to move through. 3 versus 3. Bomb still in hand for CK Loves Bacon. Westside BZ able to find that pick, but is punished for his hubris on the way out. But Elzen final man standing. Bomb down on B site once again. Gonna be
Yeah.
difficult for this SMG to get outside against these two players, especially with one of them taking a long angle. I believe that's CK. Yeah, it is. Very far away. He at least knows the location of Brinksy, but takes a little bit too much damage on the approach and is not able to take the duel. 1-1.
Florida hit back. You know, they decide to spread the cheese a little bit as we see Brinksy's final kill. Was being patient on that point, waiting for the opposing team to get, you know, overzealous, if you will, just hold forward on their stick a little too much. Things are super tight. I know I'm kind of predicting for London to take this game too, but Florida are not going to be a team that go over easy. Like I keep mentioning, 4-1 for London Royal, 3-2 for Florida Puppeteers throughout the first 5 weeks of this game.
West side able to find the first pick once again. Oh my god, a blink of an eye. And suddenly it's a 1v3. The Royale with cheese falling over like a bunch of dominoes, and the bomb is down as well. I'm not sure if the Puppeteers know this, that none of them seem to have a direct line of sight onto the bomb right now, so Bando, not knowing this, he's just playing very patiently.
Yeah.
Able to grab it and get right back out of the building.
Oh. Trapped right there.
Ooh.
Ooh. Gets a great pick onto Brinksy right there. You see some discipline from Florida just to move their perspective and to stay on their point. It's going to be tough for Bando to break, you know, 7 and 5 on the map, which is Bacon and Bus. Oof,
And they
that's
now
tough.
know exactly where he is with 30 seconds left. They know that they know that he doesn't have an option to plant onto the B site because Bacon is right there. So he has to get the plant down onto A. And he's gotten a few tags here, and that could be crucial, but it's not going to be enough. The Puppeteers win their second round here. The first defensive round win.
Yeah, great points right there. We see the final kill. Just great discipline from Florida right there. They did not move from their positions. They just held and, you know, stuck to their strategy to see that round 3 win in this SND. Right now, looking at that scoreboard, Brinksy leading the way in the lobby. That's going to be a player to look out for. I know I've been, you know, giving Breezy their flowers, but Brinksy and Beezy seem to be the dynamic duo on Puppeteers.
Yeah, they're playing very well right now. It is honestly out of this world. Especially the gameplay we saw from BZ on map 1. And as you say, Brinksy here on map 2. 5 kills already in the first 3 rounds of the game. Absolutely phenomenal. If he can keep up this pace, we might be looking at some biblical stat lines later. But Bus, going to be the first to fall in this round, putting his team at a numbers disadvantage early. And BZ also falling. Brinksy is able to bring one back at very least, and escape somehow. So it's a 2v2 now because of Bacon's pick. Elzen, with that SMG in hand, currently inside the building. Best place for your close range specialist to be. But both of the players from the Puppeteers going around the outside of the building. Swings in. Elzen sees at least one of them. I don't know if he saw both, but now he knows that they're definitely both there. One player goes down. 1v2. Elzen not able to find either of them. The Puppeteers winning a 3rd straight round.
Yeah, a clutch round right there. I'm frankly shocked to see them win that. I thought London were able to utilize their advantage, but no, they low-key choked it. I will be completely honest. It feels like, you know, Florida, they are very sure of what they want to do on defense, but when on offense comes, they just let London make mistakes. So if you're London, you gotta be a little bit more disciplined with your plays, as we see the nice, you know, knife come up, someone flexing their skin and their, you know, their hard work in Call of Duty. Sorry, I'm a Halo guy, so I'm still figuring out this lingo right now. The nade goes out, and let's see what happens.
It is a nice knife. It's no CS:GO, but you know, we're playing Call of Duty. We got knives. Bomb in hands of Berksy right now. Also on 5 kills, by the way. Oh, there are so many people right here. That was a... Ugh. Okay. Runs through. Gets back to the site. I might have forgotten which player was on which team just then. Ignore my fear. BZ goes down early in this round, but where there's a Brinksy, there's a way. Well, there's not a way anymore. Down goes Brinksy. Bacon falls as well. It is now a 1v4. You are not winning that. The entire team swings you, and London Royale finally answers back with their second round.
Yeah. Where there's a Berksy, there's a way. If you're London Royal with cheese right now, looking at the final slate from Elzen. If Berksy, excuse me, you got Berksy and Brinksy going head to head right now, and if Berksy is the one to stay up for their team, if Berksy frankly does not hit that death screen, I have a lot of confidence in London Royal. The Florida Puppeteers are, you know, just being a thorn on their side and just sticking to their game plan, even though if they drop a couple members, you know, we've seen. That's the first time I think we've seen London win a convincing round like that.
Mm-hmm. It has been very good for them so far. Keeping up at very least in terms of numbers somewhat consistently. A 1-for-1 trade right now with Berksy going down. So that is your heavy hitter. That is your top frag right now. So it could be tough. Bando goes down. BZ finding that wall bang. But the trade happens too, and that's been something that's kind of happening a lot here. I think because the map is so small, it's really easy to find these trades, especially onto these SMG players.
Yeah. No, a lot of back and forth, like I keep mentioning. 30 seconds left on that plant. Oof, Bus wins a great 1v1 against Empo. Lies down. Ooh.
Oh, Brinksy.
Clutch right there. Clutch
I
right
mean,
there.
Bus saves his life in that first 1v1. It basically turns it into a 2v1, but Brinksy wins this one, I mean, entirely on his own. I mean, come on. Come on. That's just nice.
Yeah, that S&D MVP right now for their team. Man, that bug in the observer always throws me off a little bit. 5 seconds until we start. Looks like Florida need 2 more rounds while London need to clutch up here and, you know, get some momentum going. This is quite surprising given the fact that we saw game 1, 249 and 250 score.
I don't think my mental health could handle a 249 immediately followed by a round 11 S&D. I don't think I could do it. I think I would just melt on the spot if that happened. So I'm gonna need Florida to either wrap it up or just let every round from here fall to the wayside. But either way, Berksy, first player to fall here. That's your top frag down, but the bomb is still probably going to go down. First plant, we've seen this map on the A site with Bando down. It's looking a little bit rough. 1v3 now for Empo, and he's not going to be able to find the second. He did a good job finding Brinksy, but the defuse is going to come through, putting this scoreline at 2-5.
Yeah, class coming through from Florida Puppeteers, who are looking to tie their season count with London. If London loses this map set, they will go 4-2, and if Florida wins this, they'll go 4-2. So look for both these teams in the gold mixed division. I think they're going to be very, very, very heavy contenders for the championship, if you will. And right now, Brinksy has the bomb. Let's see if that MVP is able to get a plan off.
Players rushing forward. This is a very aggressive round so far from both teams. London Royale so far with the numbers advantage, but that doesn't last long at all. We're down to a 1v1. Elzen, wow. West side BZ. Bomb in hand for BZ. He's going to run right past the A point. They know where the other is. BZ backs into the building. Playing it very safe. But he knows where he is, and just like that, the Puppeteers are able to close out the round. Absolutely beautiful gameplay from them for the entirety of that map.
Yeah.
And they're up 2-0.
Feels like Breezy just said, "Patience, my young Padawan," to the enemy. That's what's leading them to victory here, is their ability to success here.
One man and one man alone. Berksy. This man has been phenomenal, particularly on that S&D. And with that AR in hand, it's going to be very important that he utilizes that weapon and finds the picks at these long ranges that protocol can allow you to take. Particularly, the hallway above this point is extremely important. Gives you sightline onto both points. And thus far, London are doing all right at very least. They have pressure on the A site, and they've already got a tick.
Yeah, they're getting the slays and the objective plays right now as we see Elzen respond with a with almost a two-piece of their own. Now they get it right there, capturing this 8-point. That trigger finger comes in clutch as they take out the Canadian in the lobby. And while things are contested, wow, Royal are surely going to secure this 8-point.
It's close, but it really comes down to whether or not Bus can get value out of this position. He gets one pick, but I don't think he's going to be able to get the second. Eventually, London are able to secure the A-point here. That's the easy one. Breaking onto B is significantly more difficult. Not a whole lot of easy ways to approach this one.
Yeah, definitely. Ooh. Wow. Right now, London looking sharp. They're just getting momentum. Even though Elzen is kind of in no man's land here, they're still being a pest, trying to get information to their squad, is looking around, seeing what they can do with their gun, realizes they need to check every single corner right there. And off screen, we see a two-piece go in favor of London Royal. That's 3 down. Oof, right off the rip. This 2v2 for only a matter of moments right there. Elzen with the killing spree, 15-9 in favor for London as they secure some more hill time.
So as it turns out, Bus is kind of nice at Call of Duty. What was that double kill he got earlier, man? That was utterly absurd. Looking really solid thus far, though, is London Royale, already with a tick and a half here on the B point. Looks like they're gonna find the second as well. Florida already out of respawns entirely. Westside BZ putting out phenomenal performances on the first 2 maps. So far struggling just a little bit here. Don't want to count him out entirely, though. We've seen what the man can do. Finds a pick onto Berksy while he's not looking. 3 respawns left is all they've got, though, and Berksy is out of the picture permanently. Couple picks come through. This could be a miracle round for the Puppeteers.
I'm going to be a Debbie Downer and say it's not right now. Even though Breezy gets a slay onto Bando and gets their KD up to 3 and 7, it's still been a tough round for them. Looks like London are just playing with their food right now.
Breezy
Just waiting for the opposing team to make mistakes.
It's 5 versus 1 right now. It's just BZ, and they're just gonna rush the point. Surely this is where it finally ends. But you'd rather this round ends by them outslaying you than by getting all 3 ticks. So they are just going... He is just going to run in and die. They only end up getting 5 ticks, the London Royale with cheese. But that is more than enough.
Yeah. And I'm looking at this best play, Bando. Yeah, I saw things get heated right off the rip. It's no surprise that this play, which the observer caught, by the way, is what takes this round's highlight. Yeah, London Royal fighting strong. They only lost the hard point by 1. They got a little blown out during that game 2 S&D. And quickly looking at the scoreboard, Elzen 11-4.
Oh my goodness.
CK loves bacon. Oh my lord, that's bacon, not carbs. Is 9-6 right there. What are you seeing?
I'm seeing a very confident London Royale with cheese here. Remember earlier how I was saying that some teams are just more confident and more comfortable on respawn modes? I think that's what we're seeing right now. And this one in particular looks very well practiced from London. They seem very drilled, very confident on this map here. Not even letting Florida approach right now, but keeping the lives at least relatively even. 26-25 as it stands here. And that... Oh my goodness. Very good shots from both sides right now.
Yeah, greasy from Bacon right there as we see Elzen get taken out right now. Bus says honk and gets onto the point. Get out of my way. Gets 1 kill while capturing. Is looking for the second. Oh, let the teammate get it. Definitely had the information and the knowledge and the whereabouts of the opposing player. The trophy system goes down. There are 2 members of Blue on this point. Ooh, looks like Squid Games wins that one and gets the momentum into the side of Florida.
Yeah, another phenomenal multi-kill there from Bus. Helps them secure point A. Now moving on over to the B site. Westside BZ finally coming alive and waking up on this map here, putting up significantly better numbers thus far. Not able to find that pick though, unfortunately. Elzen recovers from that potentially tough scenario. Bus, though, continuing this dominant run. And suddenly the Puppeteers are on this site.
Yeah, Florida are just, letting Brinksy take control of his game one,
They're
or
just 3 stacks.
excuse me, Breezy getting control of game one, Brinksy getting control of game two, and then Bus getting control of game three. I know a couple of their members just dropped, but you once again see Brinksy on this point, securing the round for their team. What did you see towards the end? I want to make sure that you're able to mention what you saw there.
I mean, they just did not allow a break to happen. Every angle was looked at. Everybody was in the perfect spot for it. There was no approaching if you're London there. There was just masterclass in capturing, especially with 3 people on that site. They gave London such little time to react.
Yeah, uno in this control game 3. Super even for this third map. Florida are looking to close this series out, while London are looking for life right now. Berksy, on their perspective, just trying to rush in and get some information. It's probably going to get caught off guard, and does! Breezy gets the first blood.
That's just tough. That's just a rad angle if I've ever seen one. But now this hallway that I mentioned earlier becomes important. You've got at least one player up there, and suddenly that one tick they got, I mean, that's fine, but you're not getting anything for now. Westside busy with another multi-kill. Empo and Bando fall. And I mean, you pointed it out earlier. I think Westside started this map like 0-7, and now he's up to 13-4. Woken up, remembered that he's playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, feels like Breezy. Once they found their momentum, things just switched in favor for the Puppeteers right now. We're in the perspective of 1000. Jumps out. He's trying to survey what happens. Gets a slay on to Beezy. And securing things right now. Respawns are coming up in the back for London Royale, while Puppeteers are closer to this point.
Oh, very unfortunate time to have your knife out there. Beezy continuing to find frags here. Not a whole lot you can do to get out of this instance, but manages to slip away and completely catches Empo off guard here. The attack for London Royale is falling apart as we speak. Nobody's even close to any of the points right now, and Beezy is still a problem in your backline.
Yeah. It's impressive plays from Breezy. Feels like London can't even walk a step. Florida just says, no, we catch you. And right there, Cassacurs comes in. Berksy takes out Breezy. Berksy drops right now. It is a war. Trades right now. Somehow, some way, Empo is securing this point even more for their team. Looks like Westside's coming in and gets destroyed.
Oh, man. 3 players down. Nobody really near any of the points. They've got to make a mad dash, but it's not going to be enough. Surely there's no time, and yes, just like that, the Puppeteers are going to take their second round. And only 2 ticks for London.
Yeah. No, it felt like London at some point throughout that round looked at the scoreboard and just said, hey, we're getting destroyed with the slays. We just got to play the point and pray. Unfortunately, the Lord and Savior did not save them right there. Right now, Beezy being the MVP in this series, getting the kudos from the casters and the best play once again. It is looking good for Florida, who just need one more round of control, if I'm not mistaken, to take this series in a 3-0 sweep.
Listen, we're talking up Beezy a lot, rightfully so, for these last few rounds, but Bacon's 23-12. Do I even need to say more? Like, when you have one player putting out that kind of fragging power, like, it is phenomenal stuff. And with how Beezy's playing, with how Bacon's playing, and with how Bus is playing, Puppeteers look primed to win this map for sure.
Bacon probably eats a lot of it and needs to somehow, some way create a calorie deficit. And even though they might not run in IRL, they're definitely holding forward in their game. Right there, Bacon Being patient. Nice trigger finger right there from the player wearing the Toronto Ultra skin. Eventually gets popped out. Wow. Wow. Looking like scrap on LA Thieves right there as we see London Royal get 3 picks back to back and now have a 4-kill lead in this round 4.
Checks nothing with that stun grenade, unfortunately. Happens to the best of us. Gets shut down by Bus. This approach has not been amazing for the Puppeteers so far. No ticks, 20 seconds remaining. Spawns come through. Berksy gets shut down entirely here. There is gonna be someone on the point, at least approaching relatively soon here, but I mean, this was just a defensive masterclass. The Puppeteers don't even get close to the point at all. And just like that, we're going to round 5, and London is taking more ticks.
Yeah, no, I was about to say if that was the end of the series with that last round, if Florida were able to win it, I'm looking at the clock right now, and what a quick series. Selfishly,
yeah.
I'm hoping that London are able to extend us into a game 4 here. Right now, we're tied 2-2 on the control, on protocol. Right there, London were just able to slow things down and dictate the pace of the game. And then that's what led them to success. Florida are in the driver's seat when it comes to momentum. So you gotta adapt if you're London. Right now, we're on the perspective of us. And what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that this is very, very doable for the Puppeteers here, especially with BZ finding 2 on the underside of the map over towards B. Starts putting pressure onto the site, but does get shut down eventually. But they aren't able to get over towards A very quickly, and the first tick already goes through. So you don't have players on the A site, you may just end up having to give this one up. More progress comes through, and shots from Bando will find their mark. But 2 headshots from Bus, and point A is secured. 4 lives ahead as well. They're looking real solid. Westside BZ does fall, so you don't have that thorn in your side in the backline anymore. And Bacon, who was trying to pressure the point, doesn't end up doing any of that.
Empo just being a pest here, trying to observe what's happening, slowing things down, and should be able, does not, after getting stunned, does not find a pick onto the enemy. BZ gets away with their life, but unfortunately, Empo is there to clean things up, and just like that, once you start controlling momentum, if you're London, you have your swagger back. You're no longer scared. You know where the enemies are respawning, and you can hold forward just a little bit, even though Westside BZ is there to get the trade. They got taken out, and things are looking pretty decent. I'm gonna knock on wood a little bit for London Royal so I don't hit them with the caster's curse as they take a 3-kill lead in this control.
3 lives the lead, as you say, but grows thinner. Oh no, that was an important 1v1 for Bus to have lost just then. Positioning on the bottom side of the map, not taken there. And Perksy up on the north side, able to take out a couple players phenomenally. Oh man, London just seemed to have complete control of this map right now. Nobody is able to approach this point very easily, and they know Bus is somewhere on the stairs. Empo finding that pick is absolutely massive. 42 seconds though, and it kind of seems like they've finally gotten some players on the point. Time has stopped, but bodies are still dropping. 14 to 12. It's down to the wire. 38 seconds on the clock, and Bacon goes down. Berksy finds 2. Almost a tick going through here. Eventually, it does look like they're gonna get it. Westside BZ finding a pick onto Empo. This could be the opening they absolutely need. Another pick onto Berksy. Elzen needs to go huge here. Another tick comes through for Florida. Just one more and they win the series entirely. A couple contests come through, and eventually it looks like Florida have done it. They do. They win map 3, 2-3, and will win the series convincingly.
Yeah, I'm a little bit shocked. I think both you and I were thinking that this was potentially going to go to 5 games as we see Brinks getting a amazing best play. Man, feels like they were just trading that slot with Westside, and